Alright, gonna start up a lazy Sunday play and explain session. 5 suit is gonna be too weak and low jack to open. Not sure what's going on in this pot. Looks like it's just a limped and timed out in the bottom. Just gonna take a stab on the turn. And we'll probably just double stab here. Looks like it's just limped and a bunch of checking. And I think stab range is okay versus that type of player. I have a new table here, looks pretty good. And versus a cutoff 3-bet small blind cold call, we're gonna have a lot better hands than low jack to continue with king jack off, so we'd be folding even to I think any 3-bet from any position. So easy muck here. King 7 off I think is pretty borderline to open small blind versus big blind. I don't know, I can make a heuristic. I'll just open king 8 off plus or something like that. I'm gonna fold it this time. And start marking the shorties. Tonight off on table 3 will be opening, especially with the recreational player in big blind. And king 6 off will not be a defendant in any capacity. With gutter and second pair, I think this hand is an effect weighted bet, and I think this is a board where we can get a range, get a way with just betting small often. Don't think we need to segment into check plus medium / big bet on the jack 7-9 rainbow. Unturned, 4 diamonds the brick on table 3. I'm not sure if it's a spot where we polarize to over better check. I think we'll still have lots of mid-strength hands that won't want to go for the 50 to 100 p sizing. But not sure on it. And then just thinking about this combo versus this player, I don't expect to get raised much, but getting raised does suck. And so I think we're just going to go to realize this time. Could make some arguments for 3s flatting in top right, but versus 3x it's a little less attractive. And bottom left with king coming, flush closing, I think we can go for just a check back. So the only point of contention here, I guess, was if the turn should be another bet, and if so, what sizing and what our overall construction, etc. looks like here. And so queen jack off should be able to go for some type of block on the river plus, especially with the, I think, queen blocker just blocking the nuts there. Open aces on table 4, open ace queen off table 3. Yep, and that 10-9 hand, not particularly exciting, but I will mark it so I can run it. I'm curious just what the turn strat looks like there. With the cold call, short stack, lots of different options here. Can just check a lot to them. I think this range will be wider than it is if we were looking at just hijack versus button equilibrium cold calls. And so I'm just going to start betting small with 2 players left stack. And ace queen off can be a low frequency 4-bet. I think we can call versus the big blind squeeze. And we rolled too high to 4-bet. Probably 4-betting like on 30 and below or so. Yeah, a question if we want to jam here or not. I think it's still too big of a jam, and not sure if get called by too much worse. I can see this player having 10-8 and stuff. So I think I'm gonna go for the call here and then just check jam the turn. Maybe jam there is fine. Versus a third, we have nothing really going on here. Just gonna fold the ace queen off. And I think we're still gonna decide to trappy trap here. My only concern is if they hit one of these pairs that they decided to raise on the flop, and then this player type might just be scared of the overcard and they might check back a lot. But I think I want to go for max here and just try to check jam. I think 10-9 suited can just get in here as a flat versus the two recreational players. Yep, so we get a half pot bet, and the most obvious draw complete on the turn. I'd expect them to bet a lot with Jack-9. They could be trappy, but that's fine. I think we just jam and hope for a stubborn call from a 10x. And just fold here. And looks like they did have the 10. So, yep, in this particular scenario, jam would work great. I think it might work in general. I think when they raise like that on this flop, it's so protection heavy and they're just going to call off. So I'm thinking I like the jam on the flop more than trying to be fancy and then check call and then go for something else on later street. Because when there's so many scare cards like that queen, I think they will slow down a lot. And I think a lot of players will slow down on the river there too and just check back, and we'll lose tons of value. So I think just playing the hand for what it is and jamming flop is what I'm preferring. But obviously biased by just seeing what he had. But I do see that merged protection-y raise and call off a lot, I think. I think ace-2 suited might be like a weird 3-bet here. I think versus a lot of positions we're preferring ace-5, ace-4, but I think in low jack, at least the ranges I have, it's doing it. But I'm going to go for the call. 6, 8, 10. Not sure how the low jack should play here. Just thinking about normal button versus big blind, I think it'd just be like a big check or bet board. And so now when we think about turn probe sizing, I imagine we can have some sort of split. I think this hand I want to just throw in the large probe, so like probably slight overbet, just because the deuce is, this is our best nut flush. I'm blocking a lot of Broadway one diamond hands and other flushes, so if we are splitting here, I think this is going to want to bet big, so we're going to go for like 125-ish or so, or maybe just 150. And we have some limp pot here where we bet the flop. We're just going to go for the check here. And versus half pot, I'm going to just continue one time here. And then probably fold a lot of aggression on rivers. And you get a little lucky chop there. Not going to be opening 3 deuce in the small blind. Georgian's bugging out over here, so just going to type in the 2.5 open with king queen off from the cutoff on table 3. Take that one down. I think king 3 suited is a little weak. If we had a recreational player with maybe with a deeper stack, I'd like to play this hand. But I'm probably just gonna have like king 6 suited plus or something. I feel like this player type can limp like weird offsuit king x, and that can still be dominating us. If we do have reads that there's like another player that's pretty deep and we don't think they're gonna 3-bet us very much, then maybe calling all suited kings and like some medium suited queens could be fine. The opening jack 10 off in the small blind here. Seven seven deuce. I'm not sure that this is a board we can get away with just range 23p. I think with the deuce it's fine. Maybe with like 7-7-4, other types of hands that have more interactivity with the big blinds calling range, we can check range, but I'm going to throw this in the bet 23p range category. We turn a gut shot. I think we'll probably slow down a decent on this card. I don't think I'll have 7-8 off in full, whereas they will. But with a really low roll plus the gut shot, I think I'm going to go for the barrel here. And I think starting to bet somewhat larger is fine. I don't think we want to go too big, so just choosing the 75p sizing here. And then, yeah, deciding if this is one we want to give up on or not. Positive traits are unblocking clubs, but I'm not sure if they're going to fold any pocket pairs here, like 6s, 5s might hero. I think that's what we'd be targeting. They might have some overcards that we can put pressure on, but I'm thinking this is going to be a give up. I just think I'd prefer to barrel more overs to the 8, and they're gonna have a hard time folding a lot on this brick. And 5-6 gets there, but they might have raised that on the turn in some capacity, but potentially not as well. So yeah, not sure if we should go for the river there. King queen off. I could go either way. I don't think we have much fold equity, and we can get. I think they might just call off a lot of ace x, so I think we're gonna see a flop. I'll raise up the queen 9 suited, and I think we'll open the 7-8 off on the button. Just be checking everything on this board. And I think we'll want to start betting here. Not really sure what sizings and really much of anything is supposed to go down on the small blind limp, big blind 3x. I do believe this hand 3-bets a lot. Small blind versus big blind, the 9-8 suited, so we're going for that. Easy fold here. Versus 3 bigs, I think I would continue versus smaller size, but when it's a multi-way pot, and we don't have much going on for us besides like double backdoor stuff plus 1 over, I think I'm just going to find the fold here. Might be tight. I'm going to go for the squeeze with ace queen off. And we're also going to 3-bet pocket 8s here versus a pretty large sizing. We don't need to go that big, so I'm going to 14. This player rips. I think we just find the fold. And we get a pretty dreamy flop. So 5x open, 3-bet. I think they can still retain tons of overpairs and broadways that might bluff. So we're going to go for the sneaky move here. We have 2 players here. I was going to just kind of range bet. I still think 23p wouldn't be bad here, but I'm going to check this one here. Versus half pot, this might be another situation where they're just pretty eager to get it in. Or we're just going to call. And hope to see a ship. Yep. I'm just going to check this down. Hope to see 9s or something. Yep, and we have ace queen, so I'm not sure if that's the case for a lot of players, but I think some might kind of spaz off with their broadways that whiffed. Yeah, and I might have blundered on table 2 here. I think we might have been able to 23p the flop, and if not, we might have been able to delay c-bet the turn. I think their ranges are pretty straightforward when they're checking back twice, probably not too many diamonds. The only thing I think we lose to is like 9-10 or like queen jack or something that's hesitant, but I think we can go for some type of small bet now and fold to any action there. Just trying to get called by like jack 10 or something. Worse queen that they decided to check twice. And versus this shove, I think they can. People do some weird traps in this situation. So it could be something like pocket eights, could be 9-10, could be 2 pair, queen jack. Have a nice blocker here, blocking river flushes, but just thinking in general, we have kind of a recreational player. We have a river, like 5x-ish shove and stuff, so I think we're just going to have to go for the fold there. I think ace-10 off mostly calls here. And we should see a lot of betting from them. Interesting hand if we raise it much. Probably not. Not sure about probe strategy here. If we'd go huge, if we'd go small. I'm not sure if we have much king x or queen x that wants to bet, so I'm thinking our probe strategy might be a little more pulled here. A pretty nice hand to do it with the gut shot back up, but gonna check. And with the double check back, we kind of just hope they have a holding like king x or queen x, and so not sure if they're gonna want a bluff catch versus an overbet, so we're gonna go for the 75p attack and hope that it's super effective. I'm really interested about the turn probe there, though. Yep, so queen 9. I think their line is good. I think queen 3 suited is going to be too wide to VPip on the button. Maybe queen 5 suited or something plus. And doesn't look like those blinds were particularly recreational. Open ace 3 suited, table 4. Be opening king 10 suited here. I'll be playing as a 3-bet versus hijack or just RFI as a cutoff. So we go for that. Good board for us, plus we have gut shot. Hearts are not ideal, obviously, but this is a board we'll bet frequently on, and I think this hand really wants to get in there, even on this slow roll. I think just the standard small is fine. Potential 4-bet candidate here, but yeah, actually don't know much what our cutoff versus the big blind polarized 3-bet winning range looks like. In position, a nice hand that wants to realize a little deeper than 100 bigs, so even a little low roll, I'm gonna just call this time. Flop the gut shot, not much else. King 9 off, I think is going to be too weak to ISO here versus this size of stack. Flop the gut shot with 1 over. We turn the ace here. I think we're going to want to bet this combo that unblocks all the diamonds and spades. And pretty nice sizing from Villain in terms of putting pressure on my hand. I think we just have to fold. Don't have many reads. It's been 24 hands, but I'd assume this is more of a range bet for the, maybe the big blind is bringing more polarized range, so they're gonna do more half pot or check types of deals. King 9 off, I'm just gonna ditch. I think we're gonna ditch this one too. We will have some stronger gut shots like King, Queen. We're gonna have better suits to call of this combo. Plenty of other hands too there. All the sets, Ace, Jack, King, Jack suited. So yeah, I don't know. My assumption here is I could continue versus maybe a third pot type of bet. I think the half pot is just putting too much pressure for the gut shot. Don't think our King is very live. And 10 is not a good card in terms of the OESDs it brings. And I think this is going to be a 3-bet most of the time. I'm going to go for it. Table 4. 7's an interesting squeeze spot. But super low roll plus just planning to kind of keep in this really wide VPIP range. Play more hands heads up versus the rec, though this will bring in the button most of the time, just due to good odds and being in position, but that's okay. We'll just go hunting for the one of the 2 7s out there, and I don't think we'll be able to continue on this board in any fashion, even versus 23p. So limp, yeah, this very small size from their ISO here, but I guess too it could be expected in this profile. I think Jack 8 off is probably open if there's 2 wrecks in the blinds. Otherwise, I'm probably just opening Jack 9 off plus, so potentially a tight-ish fold. I'm just gonna not play that hand. Let's see, so bet, Ace King. I'm curious what this player called down with. Probably just look like another king. The Jack. That's probably okay versus the recreational player. Probably not much of a difference. I think King 10 off is strong enough that we can ISO here. So just gonna 5x and then fold. What is this? Open raise, call. And these wheel boards, I think in theory, we're not betting much. Not sure how it changes in this like ISO formation, if it changes much. But it's probably an okay combo that mixes. Just gonna go for the check this time. Be opening 8-7 suited. Not a great turn card for us, as we're probably betting a lot of our flush draws at a high frequency. But they do not stab the turn, and This blocks some of their 7-8, 9-7, or like 8-7, 10-8 gappers and stuff, flushes. So I think we can delay c-bet here. Plus we have flush draw outs. Can potentially fold some weak pairs. Not sure much better king x, but I think the delay c-bet performs pretty well on a turn that they can potentially stab at a good amount of the time. Be opening pocket nines table 1, be ISOing ace queen off table 2. King 9 off, not good enough, bye bye. Flopping sets again. Do we just play sets tricky? I think most of the time I will. Low roll, we're just gonna go for a small bet here. In theory, I think we'll have a pretty strong checking range versus in position, but versus player type, I don't think it's too important. And we get a big party over here on table 2. I'm just gonna check this one back. This is a pretty gross board for us. We're not too happy on it in a lot of situations, such as this one. Don't know if 10-5 suited gets in here with the fun 3-bet mix. I'm just gonna call it, and we're just gonna play this hand pretty straightforward. We've got 10 in. If we start to go, this kind of makes it a weird size if we do our pulled over bet. So I think we're just going to go for 7. That'll put the pot at 24 and put him at about a pot size bet on the river. So maybe we juice it up a little bit. Pretty good board for us. I think we're just going to take a stab at it, especially having 5-4 suited being blocked. And so we're just going to go for a half pot bet on table 3. Turn the ace here. I could conceivably bet. Not sure if we can raise too much here. I think ace 4 suited might get in here. I think we're going to go for it on the low roll, low jack first button. Pretty low frequency action going on. I think we're just going to call the ace queen off in position here, not letting it 4 ways. And yeah, not sure how to play here. I think we're going to start trying to attack some of the ace highs, etc. And when he checks back, I mean, there could be a ton of value versus worse aces that we can get here. But getting raised makes me pretty sad. I think we can just go small here and deciding between the bet and check here. I just not sure when they bet that half pot versus so many players. I think we just want to go for the check here. And queen jack off, not interested in playing it versus the ISO. King jack off we can open. Here, what happened? I just timed out on this board. Yeah, I missed that one. I'm not sure if I was considering the overbet bluff on the river, but just kind of missed it. And I guess we got a lucky timeout as they rivered the boat. Yeah, I'm not good at these wide range spots yet. It's just small blind versus big blind, right? Yeah. Ranges are pretty wide here. I think my hand's probably pretty good because it blocks 5-4 suited, and then they might still have a bunch of broadways that continued flop and turn that we can get them off of. So I think I do like a bet here, but it's hard for me to decide which combos to pick since ranges are so wide. And versus the 4-bet, we're gonna I think we're gonna have to fold the king 9 suited. It's tempting, but I think we're okay to fold there. Especially versus population. I think button 4-bet, people are just gonna want to realize and play in position a lot, so 2s are gonna lose this time. Can't call the 3-bet. And we'll see if we can get another hand or so, but about to wrap up. And I don't think this is going to be the one. Not the chosen one. I think 5-6 suited is going to be a hand that likes to 3-bet a decent amount of time versus cutoff, so probably on a roll of, I'd say 40 or less. We'll be opening this. Looks like Drojan's timing out. We have no small blind here, so we're going to go a little smaller, just 2.3. And so we're going to go for this type of sizing. Larger is probably good too. Pocket threes could potentially just play in the cutoff here, but that's tempting. We got to reckon the button, and we have reckon the big blind. I think I'm gonna make a disciplined-ish fold there, and we're gonna have to toss our friend suited connector here, not fall into the temptations of evil, and it's gone. Okay. I think that's gonna wrap this one up. So, yep, see ya, thanks.